Okay, so today we will be talking about more geometry, I guess. I think we briefly covered it before, but sorry. Okay, I think we briefly covered geometry before, but today we'll go more in depth on certain topics. So, we briefly went over area before, but area is the space covered by a two-dimensional or like flat object. So the different formulas are listed here. So you guys can like copy these down so that later on we can use them as well. And while you're copying that down, I'll just go over some like common problems you'll find. So usually when doing this sort of math, they'll ask you to find the area of some shape or like shaded region, and then also what is like the surface area or something like that. And surface area is basically like flat surfaces. So were you guys able to copy down the formulas or do you need more time? Are we good to move on? Oh. Is this better? Can you hear me better now?
Somebody says.
Okay. Yeah. Were you guys able to copy down the formulas?
Yes, I'm not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Enough.
Hmm?
Please, can you go over again?
Oh yeah, so basically there are these like formulas to find the areas of certain shapes. So like one shape might be a rectangle, and one way you'd find the area is like length times width. And then one square or one shape might be like a square and stuff like that. So these formulas over here, like over here are just meant to help you like find the area of the shape. So I just like wanted you to copy those down so we can use them later.
Please, I can't hear you.
I'll give you guys some more time to copy it down and then. Yeah. Okay, is everyone ready to move on now?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Okay.
I can't hear you.
Madam, please, we didn't finish copying the formula.
Oh, okay, I can go back. Here you go. Just let me know when you're done.
Can't hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Okay. Is everyone good, like ready and done copying the formulas, or do you guys still need more time? Got them?
I'm not yet done.
Okay. I'll give you guys like 1 or 2 more minutes. Okay. Are we good now?
No.
No? Okay. Just let me know when you're done.
Okay. I'm done.
Done? Okay. We'll move on then. Okay, so here's an example. Let's say we have a rectangle that's 5 by 10. To figure out so the first step would be like to figure out the shape of it, so we know that it's a rectangle. And then to find the area of it, we would just use the formula for the rectangle. So the rectangle's formula is length times width. So in this case, let's say length is 5 and width is 10. Our area would be 5 times 10. And so our answer would be 50 units. Yeah. If no label is given, your answer should just end with units. And make sure it's squared. I think I forgot to put a square. So it should be units squared because it's area. Okay? Any questions? No?
No, please.
Okay, so we'll move on. So why don't you guys try this one? So first try and like draw a diagram. So I'll draw the diagram with you guys. So let's say we have a circle and our diameter, which is the line like all the way across the circle, so like this, that passes through the center. This
Please, should we
is,
write it?
huh?
Oh.
Oh, I'm just drawing a picture for you guys. This whole thing is 10 inches. So, yeah. So I'll give you guys some time to try it, and then we'll go over the solution.
Please, are we supposed
What?
to write the other example?
Oh, sorry. Here Here you go. Let's erase this. Were you guys able to get the example down, or do you need more time?
I think we need more time.
Okay.
Please, we're done.
Got it? Okay. So back to this question. So I'll just draw the diagram for you guys so you guys can see it. We have this circle and its diameter, which is a line that goes like all the way through the circle. This is 10 inches. So you're just supposed to find the area of the circle. So I'll give you guys some time. Yeah. Feel free to leave your answer with pi or something. Like if the answer is let's say 15 pi, you can just submit this. This is okay. You don't have to plug it into a calculator. Oh, by the way, the answer is not 15 pi. So I'll give you guys some time to try it. I'm just saying if there is pi in your answer, you can just leave it as pi.
Zelda, stop. Shut up.
Do you guys need a little help on solving, or do you just need more time?
We need a little
More
help.
More time? Yeah? Okay.
Need a little help.
Need a little help? Okay. So the diameter of a circle is actually 2 times the radius. So maybe that will help you. I think I didn't go over that before, so this might be new. But the diameter of the circle, this is equivalent to 2 times the radius, or r. So knowing that, you can find the radius and then plug it into the formula of pi times r squared will give you the area. So I'll give you guys a little more time to try it. Do you guys get it? Or do you want me to go over this one?
Yes.
You want me to go over it?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we know the diameter is 10 inches, right? And we know that the diameter equals 2r. So what we can do is, because we know the diameter is 10 inches, we can actually say 10 equals 2r. So now we can solve for r, because r is what we need in the formula. So let's divide by 2, divide by 2. We get r equals 5, right? So within the formula, we can just plug in 5. So we get the area equals pi times 5 squared, or 25 pi. Does that make sense?
No, please.
Okay, let me
Yes,
go
please.
this way. Okay. Okay. So so in the formula for a circle, we need the radius. So the radius is actually only from here to here. Remember? Because like if I go back a couple of slides, you can see here that they've drawn the circle with just r. Right? So to find the area of the circle, we only need this much. So keep in mind that the radius is like a line from the center of the circle to any point on the circle. So what this means is that if you go, like, instead of going here, you go here and you connect a line, this line will also have length r. If you go here and to here, and you connect a line, this line will also be length r. Does that make sense what a radius is?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So now let's move on to diameter. So I'm just going to increase this push. Okay. So a diameter is the distance from one point of the circle to another. So let's say this point to this point, but it must pass through the center of the circle. So it has to pass through the center like that. You can't have a diameter that's like this. This is not a diameter. So every diameter, if you look closely, is composed of 2 radii, because you're going from the center point to a point on the outside. Oh, let me switch the color. You're going from the center point to a point on the outside, and from the center point to another point on the outside, right? So here is one radius, and here is another radius. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. Oh, for those that were not here when class started, we're just going over a little area, like we're going over areas of shapes. So we have a few formulas that we're just gonna use to go over the area. So the area of a circle is equal to pi r squared. Okay. So does that make sense that diameter is made up of two radius, like two radii? Yes, no. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes. If someone doesn't understand, please let me know. Okay. So that means a diameter, I'll write down the definition. Okay. Diameter is a line from one point on the circle to another point on the circle that passes through the center. And it
Madam,
equals to radius. Yeah?
so please, I wasn't in class, so by my understanding, if you have this circle right here, if you have a circle right here like this, and you want to draw the diameter, you just start at one point like the top. You just start at one point like at the top and draw it down. Is that then a diameter?
Yeah, so you can actually have multiple diameters. So that might be one diameter, but this one can be another diameter. Or this one can be another diameter. Or this one. It just has to follow the condition where it passes through, or it starts from one point on the circle, passes through the center of the circle, and ends on another point on the circle. So like kind of how this drawing is. It starts here. Oops. Okay. It starts right here, passes through the center, and ends on another point on the circle. Okay. Evangeline, you have a question?
No.
Oh, okay. Does that make sense to everyone? What the difference between a radius and diameter is and what like the relationship is between them?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Oh, oops. Okay. So then what we're gonna do is let's solve this problem. So we know that our diameter is 10 inches. What does this tell us about our radius? Oops. Please don't draw on the screen.
Radius will be 5 inches.
Yeah. Yeah, so the radius has to be 5 because if we use our formula right here, we know that our diameter equals 2 times our radius, and so our radius equals 5 inches. Okay, so that means that from here to here is 5 inches. Okay, so um now let's find the area. So we know that this is our formula for area. Do we have all the components to solve for area?
Yes.
Yeah. So pi is a constant, or that means it just has like a value. So pi actually equals like 3.14159 and so on. It just keeps repeating. So we just keep it in this value so we don't have to keep writing like all of the numbers. So we know that our area equals pi, which is a number, which we are given, times the radius, which we got as 5, squared. This gives us 25 pi as our answer. And if you were to put this into a calculator, I think you get like 76 point something, or sorry, 78.57 or something like that.
Please, I don't understand the area with the pie chart, please.
Oh, okay. So we can watch a proof on why this is actually like the area of a circle. So that will be like, I think the next thing we
Not
do.
the area that I want. It's like how you got the answer.
Oh, how I get the answer? Oh, so you just plug in stuff into the formula. So you just use the formula here, pi r squared, and we have r, and we know what pi is, so we can just solve for it. And you can leave it like this, or you can like plug it into your calculator and get like 78.5 inches squared. Do you want it? Does that make a little more sense?
Oh, the
Oh,
top
yeah.
over here, the pi here, 3.14159. I don't understand you got this solution. Like I wasn't in class and so I don't understand.
Oh, this is not something you need to know. Or like I guess you do need to know it, but yeah, it's just like a constant. Like I think someone told me that like in school they were asked to multiply by like 22 over 7. So like these are all approximates of pi. Yeah, so pi is like it's just a number, but the number just keeps on going on forever and it like never repeats. So like you know how you have the number 3? 3 stops. 3 is just 3. But pi is like 3.14159 something something something. And it just keeps going on forever. So you just need to know that like you can estimate pi using its like first 5 digits or so, so like 3.14159, or you can use like 22 over 7 as your estimate if you ever need to like find it without pi in your answer. Does that make a little more sense on what like pi?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I have
I'm
a question.
gonna, oh yeah, go ahead.
So, it's not compulsory to write the value of pi and then multiply it by the answer you have.
So in some problems it might ask you to like actually multiply it out, but like in other cases sometimes you just don't have to. So I think on like the homework I'll give you, you don't have to if there's any circle problems, you don't have to multiply by pi. You can just leave it as like 25 pi. But like in some problems you might encounter, they might ask you to multiply it. So yeah. It just like depends on the problem what you need to do with the pi.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna clear the screen. Was everyone able to get this down?
Not yet.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you guys like a couple, like a minute or so to get it down. Yeah, Zelda.
And I can see what radius is line from. Isn't it supposed to be radius is a line?
Oh yeah, sorry. Is forgot. Thank you. Yeah, Zelda?
Please, after you've gotten the 25 pi, is that your last answer?
Oh yeah, like I was saying before, in some cases 25 pi can be your last answer, but in some other cases they might want you to like multiply the pi in using like 22 over 7 or like the approximate 3.14159, and like using that you can get like 78.5 inches. So these are both valid answers. Oh, make sure you put units. So it should be like 25 inches squared. Don't forget the units.
Please.
Okay?
Okay.
Do you guys want a practice problem to like try this?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
I want to finish
No.
it writing the diameter.
No.
Keep going.
Okay.
Okay, while people are like writing this down, I'll change this from 10 inches to let's do 40 inches. So what would the area be then? You guys can like, try that one.
Should it be a private message?
Oh yeah, please private message me.
Okay.
You can leave pi in your answer, but just make sure you have the units.
Please, are we solving for the radius or the diameter?
Oh, you're solving for the area. So in order to find the area, you need to find the radius. But then you just plug it into the formula like over here to get the answer.
Okay.
Oh, please don't draw on the screen. Do you guys know how to square numbers?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so make sure when you're squaring a number, you're not just multiplying it by 2. You're like doing it like x times x is equal to x squared. Does everyone understand how to do?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I think a lot of people got the answer, like got the radius right. Oh yeah, Evangeline. Evangeline, do you have a question?
The fact that statement x is the answer of John's times x.
Sorry, I can't hear you
X2.
properly.
I said x times x equals x2. That's the square. I don't understand.
Oh, so what I'm trying to say is like, let's look at the previous problem we were doing where the radius was 5 inches. I'm saying in order to get the radius squared, you have to do 5 times 5, not 5 times 2. That's not what it means. That's basically what I'm saying. It's like when you square a number, you need to multiply the number by itself, not by 2.
I'm hungry.
What?
My nose.
Quick.
Okay, do we need more time or do you want me to
I'm
go
going to.
solution?
Good job.
You guys want me to go over the solution?
Again, yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to clear the screen. Is that okay?
Madam,
Yeah?
is there the one writing on the side of the board? Chris, are you the one writing on the side of the board? It has been cleaned.
That is Evangelina.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna clear the screen. Okay. So I changed this to 40 inches. So, but how would I find my radius?
Your radius is half of the diameter. So if the diameter is 40, then the radius is 20.
Yeah. So does everyone understand how they got that? So if my diameter is 40, I can set it up like this. 40 equals 2r, and we get r equals 20. Okay. So what's the area for a circle?
Area for a circle is pi times r squared inches.
It's not always inches, but yeah, in this case that's correct. So our area is going to be pi r squared. Okay, so now that we got that, let's plug in our values. So we get area equals pi times 20 squared. What is 20 squared? Do you guys know?
400.
20 squared is 20 times 20, which is 400.
Yeah, so our answer would be 400 pi. Is that correct? Putting 400 pi?
Yes.
I use 10. That's what.
It's not correct. What is it missing? What do you guys think it's missing?
Please, it's missing its pi.
Inches.
Yeah, it's missing inches squared. So make sure you don't forget this in your answer. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you it's wrong. And make sure it's squared, not just inches. Because the way you get the inches squared is because it's 20 inches, right? So because this is 20 inches, we're basically squaring the inches as well. So we get inches squared. And then if you were to multiply this out, let me see what you would get. You'd get about 1,256 inches squared. So either of these answers would have worked.
Roger has not yet sent me.
Okay. Any questions? Any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
So, when I solved for the 400 times 22 divided by 7, I got 1,257.14 blah blah blah. So, do I have to add the rest of the digits next to the
I'll
point?
delete all my messages on the chats.
No. Oh, okay. So that brings up a good point, because I think the estimates of pi we're using are different when we multiply it out. So I used 3.14, but you might have used 22/7.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you use these two different estimations, you're gonna get different answers for this. But when you're reporting your answer, try to, I guess, like report to like 2 decimal places if you get 2 decimal places.
Okay.
So like if my answer was like, I don't know, 1,000 point or 100.3333 onwards, I just say it's 100.33 inches squared.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Zelda, question? Yeah?
Please, I used 10 and I got 4. Is that also acceptable?
You used 10 and you got 4?
Yes.
You used 10 for pi?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So pi is not 10. If you were to divide 22 by 7, we'd get
Not
3.1428 and so on. So pi has always been, pi always starts with like 3.14 something, something, something.
not I didn't use 10 for the radius.
Oh, the radius is not 10 though, because our diameter is 40. So when we divide 40 by 2, we get 20, not 10. So I guess just be careful when you do your arithmetic to make sure you divide it correctly.
Okay.
But I think you might have done it the right way with just like wrong numbers. So just be careful to make sure you're using the right numbers. Okay. Evangeline, do you have a question? Evangeline?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Do you have a question?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
What's your question?
You say 40 equal to R equal 20. A equal TTR2. A equal TT dot parenthesis 20 into 2 square divided into 400 TT into 2 equal 3.14. 22/7 equal 125
156.
1,256.
Stop drawing on the board.
That's my question. The fact that you explained most of the parts, I didn't hear them.
Oh, okay. So I can just like briefly re-explain kind of what I did. So what is the relationship between the diameter and the radius, Evangeline?
If may I say it?
The radius is from the center of the circle to any point of the circle. But the diameter is a line from one point on the circle to another point of the circle that passes through the center.
Yeah, so those are the like definitions of what a radius and diameter are. But if we draw it out, if this is my diameter and it's on 2 points of the circle and it passes through the center, there's actually 2 radii within this. So our mathematical sort of relationship is that our diameter equals 2 radii. So that's what we use here. So we get 40, which is our diameter, equals 2 radius. So then we solve for the radius because that's what we need for our formula. And we get our radius equals 20 inches because 40 divided by 2 is 20 inches. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So this is actually not like double T. This is something called pi. So pi is used as like a constant and it represents 22/7 or you can do 3.14. Either one works. So when you do that, you can multiply it by the radius squared. So the radius squared, you're just gonna plug in what you got for r and you're gonna square it. So in this case, our area, if we write it out, it's going to be pi times 20 times 20. So that means that our answer, let me erase this. Okay. That means our answer would be either 400 pi, or if we were to multiply it out using one of these, would be 1,256. Or sorry, 56, around there. Does that make more sense?
Yes, please.
Evangeline. I'm going to take that as a yes. Zelda, do you have a question? I can't hear you. Are you unmuted?
Sorry.
It's okay.
Please, can you clean the board a bit? I can't see what you wrote.
Is there something on the board? Do you want me to
I
clean
can't see what you wrote.
Okay. Evangeline? No. Oh, Evangelina.
Yes, please.
Oh, there's 2 of you? Okay. Do you have a question? No?
No, please.
Okay.
I have a
Oh, yeah.
To find the area of a square, can you use a different denominator of integer?
Let's ask again.
To find the area of a square, can you use a different denominator of?
Please lower that loud sound. It's too loud.
We're not finding areas of squares though. So
There's a sort of vocalizing sound in the background.
yeah, I
Like
think
when
it's
somebody
like
talks, it
feedback.
chimes.
Yeah, I think there's feedback. So
It's
if you have like
raining.
2 devices on the call, like mute one of the devices, like turn the volume all the way down. And then maybe ask your question.
Please, I don't understand. Please, I
Okay,
don't understand.
okay.
I don't
What part
understand.
do you understand?
I don't understand.
Which part?
How you
Like
got
the entire
how
thing or?
the 400 in 2 inches? How did you get 1,256
Oh, okay.
inches?
So from here, pi can be oops. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what happened. Whatever. Okay, so pi can be represented by these numbers over here. So we can actually rewrite our 400 pi as like 400 times 22 over 7 or 400 times 3.14. And then we can put that will give us this. Does that make sense? Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I did, but I got 740.
Sorry, there was some background noise. What happened?
I added the 400 plus the 340.
Oh, you multiply it together. So here, I'll show you. Okay, let me get out of this. Okay, so we had 400 times 3.14. It gives you 1,256. And if you do 400 times 22 divided by 7, that should give you 1,257. So if you got any of those numbers, then you're correct.
Madam, please, is this what we'll be dealing with for the whole day? Is this the main topic we'll be dealing with for the whole day?
Kind of. You'll be dealing with like triangles next. Does everyone
I find
understand
the
how circles?
triangles a bit tricky.
Yeah. So does everyone understand circles? Yes.
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 Okay. We have a lot to go over today. Oh, where you guys went? Okay. So next we'll go over what a sector is. So have you ever had like pizza and you've seen like one slice of a pizza? Like this is one slice of the entire pizza?
Yeah.
That's called a
Like
sector.
a Valentine.
That's called a sector. It's like a pizza slice. It consists of a region that is bounded by 2 radius. So you have a radius here and a radius here. And an arc. So that's this part over here is an arc. The area of a circle is a fraction of the area of the area of a sector is the fraction of the area of the circle. So
Please, the circle, the spelling.
Sorry, yeah?
Please, your circle, the spelling.
Where? Oh, here. Sorry. Okay. Does everyone understand what a sector is?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna draw this circle a little bit bigger so that we can actually see. Okay, there's our circle. So let's say we want to find the area of this part of the circle. And let's say this is like 60 degrees, right? So what we're going to do, or let me give it our radius. Let's say our radius is 2. So that means our sector would look something like this. So our radius is equal to 2. So to find the area of the sector, what you're going to do is you're going to find the area of the entire circle. So the area of our entire circle would be pi r squared, or in this case, it would be 4 pi, right? And then the area of our sector would actually just be 60 over 360 degrees times 4 pi, because we're finding a fraction of the circle, and that fraction takes up like 60% of the circle, or like 60% or 60, like 1/6 of the circle. I don't know how else to describe it, because we know how the whole thing is 360 degrees, right? The angle for the whole center of the circle is 360 degrees. But the sector is only taking 60 degrees out of that 360. So its area will be like in proportion to that. So its area would be 4 pi times 60 over 360. So this is actually going to be like 4 over 6 pi is our answer in this case. Does that make sense?
No, please, I don't understand.
No.
Don't understand.
Did you guys get how to get the area of the circle? The area of the circle made sense, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say, so our entire circle, okay, our entire circle, this whole thing is 360 degrees, right? Everyone gets that? It's 360 degrees.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm actually just gonna take out 60 degrees of this,
Give me one.
right?
Oh,
So if I'm taking 60 degrees out of my 360, that is the proportion of the area that I will also take out. Does that make sense? So like, if I have the circle that is 360 degrees and I take out 60 degrees, the area of my sector for the 60 degrees will be 1/6 of the area of the circle.
Please, a question.
Yeah?
Please, a question.
Yeah? What's your
Please, is the area of a sector the one under the circle?
No, this is not the area of the circle. This is not the area of the circle. This is how you can find the area of a sector. So basically what it's saying is that if you want to find the area of the sector, it's going to be x over the area of the circle, which we found was 4 pi. And this is going to be equal to, like the ratio of those two, is going to be equal to the angle of the sector, which is in this case 60 degrees, over 360. And you just solve the proportion to get that x would equal 4 over 6. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This one makes sense.
Please, I have a question.
Yeah?
So we had A is equal to pi r exponent.
I think it goes. Okay, so if I were to solve this in order to get the area of the sector, I do x equals 60 over 360 times 4 pi, 4 over 6 pi. So you just need to know this and how to solve it to find the area of the sector. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah? Yeah?
Yes, but I
Yeah?
have a question.
Yeah?
I have a
What's your question?
So when we did the area which is equal to pi r exponent 2, when we solved for it, we got 4 pi, but we didn't add the exponent 2.
Oh, so what this means is that I'm squaring r, so I'm doing like 2 times 2 in this case. And we can do 2 times 2, which gives us 4. So we don't need to write this again.
But I thought the 4 was gotten from the addition of the 2 radius.
No. Finding the area of the entire circle is different than the 2 radius. So to find the area, this is for the entire circle. So for the entire circle, our area would be 4 pi. If I were to make this 3 instead, then our area would be 9 pi. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna move on now.
Okay.
Okay. What's the area of A if the diameter of the circle is 10 centimeters?
I don't know.
So this is 90 degrees. So your first step should be find area of whole circle. Find ratio of angles. So that means basically like angle of sector over 360. And then 3 multiply ratio times area. So you guys can try this one and then
Madam, please, I still don't understand. So please, may I suggest that could you help us in the next one?
Please, can you start over?
So,
Okay, I can go over this one with you guys then. Okay, do you guys understand the steps though? So first you find the area of the whole circle, then you find the ratio of the angles, so the angle of the sector over 360, and then you multiply the ratio by the area. Do those steps make sense?
Please, can you start over from the sector?
I don't understand this topic.
Let me see how else to explain this. Okay.
Mama, I'm doing it.
Okay, let's try it like this. So let's say we have the circle on the left and we have our sector of A. We have our sector named A, right? So the way we can find the area of this sector, the sector is basically just a part of A.
Please, can you start over from the sector?
Hello.
So a sector is defined like within a circle. Oh, wait.
Hello.
Erase this.
Wait. Alexis.
Please, can you start
Okay.
from the sector?
Yeah. So a sector is defined as an area of the circle that is bounded by 2 radius and has an arc. So what this is basically saying is that like the sector needs to be like a fraction of the circle. You can't have a sector that's like this. This portion over here is not a sector because there's no arc. So you can't find the area of this triangle using the sector formula. So that's what it's saying. So every sector we'll divide the circle into equivalent portions. So let's say if we look at this circle, we have A as this sector. Well, there are 4 A-like sectors that actually make up this circle, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Let me label it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So because we have 4 A sectors that make up the entire circle, what does that tell me about the area of A? The area of A should be 1/4 the area of the circle, right? Because you need to multiply the area of A by 4 to get the entire circle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So if
Madam, please, can you start over? My network was unstable.
okay, yeah. So we're just talking about sectors again. So we're just saying that like a sector is bounded by 2 radii, and the way to find the area of the sector, like I'm going over that right now. So
Please, what is the ball? What is the ball?
If there's a new person, the person will be on top.
Please, can you start again? My network was unstable.
yeah. Okay, so we just said that the sector, so if we look at sector A, we look over here, this is a sector because it's bounded by 2 radii. So that means like a radius on both sides and an arc. So that's what makes up a sector. So if we look at A, we can see that it requires 4 sectors that are like have the same area as A to make up the entire area of the circle. Does that make sense to everyone? So you have 1 over here, you have 1 over here, 1 over here, and 1 over here. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So basically, what we're trying to do here in order to find the area of the sector is we're finding how many divisions it makes of the circle. And that is like basically kind of how we're going to do it. And we're going to multiply the area of the circle by the amount of divisions it makes. So if I were to split A in 2, oops. Okay, let me split A in 2. Something like this. Each angle changed from 90 to now 45 degrees. So you can see that now there, instead of being 4, there are 8, right? So that means the area of one of
Please,
these
can you start over? My network was unstable.
How far do you want me to start over again?
Please, can you start over?
Okay. Yeah, but like from where? Like the whole thing? Okay. So let me just write this down then. Sectors have 2 radius bounding them, and an arc.
Please, can you start over? My network was unstable.
Yeah, so I'm just writing the definition of what a sector is, because that's what we're talking about. So sectors have 2 radius bounding it and an arc in between. So a sector would look something like this. 2 radius, and an arc.
Please, can you start over? My network was unstable.
I did.
Please, can you start over? My network was unstable. Please, can you start over? My network was unstable.
Yeah, we're just going over what a sector is. So sectors have 2 radius bounding it and an arc in between. So what I'm trying to show you guys is that...
Please, can you start over? My network was unstable.
Please, the person keeps saying my network was unstable. Then please, could you move to a place
Please,
where like your
can you
network
start
will
over?
be so?
In the class. Yes.
Okay.
But I'm just start over, so please, could you just listen?
Okay, thank you. So what I'm trying to show you guys is that every sector will divide the circle into equivalent areas. Does that make sense? So like if you have a sector like this one that's 45
Please,
degrees,
can you start over? My internet was unstable.
Please, Madam has just started over, so please stop.
That is okay. Madam is talking. You are saying my network is unstable.
okay. Does everyone understand what I'm trying to say? Like with the sectors breaking up the circle into equivalent areas? Yeah? Okay, it's like kind of like a pizza. You know, you cut a pizza. Each slice is like a sector, and there are equivalent sectors that make up the pizza. So the way you would find one, like the area of one sector, would be to divide the total area of A by how many slices there are. Does that make sense? So like in this case, if there are 8 slices, my area for one of these sectors, like let's say this one, would be 1/8 of the area of A. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So the way you find, huh? No? Did someone say no? It's like I can try and explain it in a better way. Okay, I'm just gonna take that as like everyone understood. Okay, so the way you find out how many sectors it divides the circle into is by using angles. So you know that
Your name.
so you know that the circle has a total angle of 360 degrees, right? And if I'm given this sector has an angle of 45 degrees, what I'm going to check now is how many 45 degrees make up that 365 degrees. And I can do that by doing 45 over 360. This will tell me that one of these sectors, that this is like one sector out of 8 sectors. So that means my area will be 1/8 the area of the circle. Does that make sense? Yeah? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Yeah? It makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say instead of 45 degrees, I had 30 degrees. How many sectors would I have? How many sectors would I need to fill up my circle? So how many 30s can we fit into 360? So basically, I'm asking what does 360 divide by 30?
Please, could you give us some time?
Yeah. Just like shout it out once you got it.
It's 12.
Yeah. Okay, so if it's 12, let's just so we get 36 over 3 and we get this as 12. If there are 12 sectors, that means the area of one sector with 30 degrees, this is 30 degrees, is going to be 1/12 the area of the circle, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we got that. Does that make sense? That's kind of how sectors work.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's go back to the original problem. What part do you not understand? Let's go back to the problem. So if this is 90 degrees, how many sectors make up 360 that are 90 degrees? Like, how many times does 90 go into 360?
3.
4 times.
Hi.
Is 4.
4, yeah. So that means the area of this sector will be 1/4 the area of our entire circle, right? That part makes sense? Yeah?
Yes.
So now let's find the area of the entire circle. Our diameter is 10 centimeters. So what's my radius?
5.
Yeah, it's 5 centimeters. Okay? So what's my area then?
25 centimeters squared.
Yeah, it's going to be 25 pi. Don't forget the pi. Centimeters squared. Okay. So now let's find 1/4 of that. What is 1/4 of 25? 25 divided by 4, right? 25 divided by 4 pi centimeters squared should be our answer. You don't have to simplify this. So
7.
I don't know. Okay. The answer should be 24/5 or 25/4. Okay. So now we're gonna go over perimeter. This one might be slightly easier for you guys. So here are some new formulas. You guys can copy down. So we have a square where the perimeter is going to be 4 times the side length. Okay, so basically the perimeter is a border. So you know how like you have like a fenced region? So like maybe you have some like grass over here and you have some fencing. The length of the fencing is what gives you the perimeter of the grass region. Does that make sense? So that's kind of what perimeter is. So the formula for a square is 4 times the side length. The formula for the rectangle is going to be 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So the perimeter for a square or circle, also known as like the circumference of the circle, so you might hear it but they're the same thing, is 2 pi r. And then for a triangle, it's just going to be all the sides summed together. Oops, where did it go? Okay, all the sides summed together. For a parallelogram, it's going to be 2a plus 2b, and then for a trapezoid, it's just going to be all the sides summed together. So I'll give you guys like a couple of minutes to write these down, and then we'll go over some practice problems. And then I want to briefly go through like a couple problems on your homework, so you kind of know how to do them. Yeah.
Yes, long time.
Okay. I'm going to move on. I know like some of you might not have copied down all the formulas, but I will post the slide deck like right after class, so you will have access to all these formulas when you do your homework. So is it okay if I move on? Okay.
Yes, please.
Please,
Yeah.
can you repeat what you said?
Oh yeah. So I was just saying, like, it's okay if you didn't get all the formulas down because I'll post this entire slide deck on the Google Classroom so you can reference it when you do your homework.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I just
you.
want to like go through this really quickly because like it's not that hard of a topic, and so
Madam, please, I like perimeter at school. So is it, I wanted to make sure, like, is it something sort of like this? You have, you have a, okay, you have a square. Then each side is 4, 4, 4, 4. And our teacher said that if you want to find the perimeter, just add 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And you also have to see, is that a type of perimeter?
No question.
yeah. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. Let's kind of clear the screen. So if we have this rectangle, in order to find the perimeter, we just use the formula. So we put our length as 5 and we put our width as 10. And so in the formula, to find the perimeter, it'd be 2 times the length times 2 times the width, or plus 2 times the width. So in this case, we would get 10 plus 20, so then our area, or our perimeter would be 30. Does that make sense?
Yes.
No.
Yes, please.
Yes,
You just
please.
use the formula. Like most of the stuff is just like use the formula, plug in values, and then get the answer. So basically what you're doing is like just summing all the sides because you know that all the sides are equivalent. So you're going to do 5 plus 5 plus 10 plus 10, and this will give you 30.
Okay.
And then, in this case, units, there's no square, it's just units. Let's do this practice problem. Do you guys want to try this one? So the perimeter is 56 meters. What is the width? So you should set up an equation and then just solve for W. So I'll give you guys like 2 minutes to try this one.
Say it out loud when we get it on your private message.
Yeah, private message.
Plus.
Oops. Oh, don't forget units when submitting. You guys want to find the width. So you're given the perimeter.
Absent
So
by answer, is it correct?
hmm?
Absent my answer, please, is it correct?
I've sent my answer.
Okay. I think some of you are just making arithmetic errors. That's why your answer might not line up.
So I sent a new answer. Is that one correct?
I've sent in my answer.
I think it's 12.
Okay, I think some of you are kind of confused on how to use the formula, so I'll go over the answer. So, what is the formula for perimeter of a rectangle?
Length times width.
That's for area.
Length plus width
L
plus
plus
width.
2W.
Yeah. So we have 2L plus 2W. And this gives us 56, right? Because we're given the perimeter. So we're given one of the side lengths, 16. So let's say this is the length. So we're going to have 2 times 16 plus 2 times W equals 56. And we need to find W. So let's solve the equation for W. We get 2W equals 56 minus 16 times 2 is 32. So then we get W equals, well, this gives us 24. So it'd be 24 divided by 2, which is 12. And don't forget to add the meters. 12 meters. That's how you do it.
And then please, could you stop right there so I could copy the answer, please?
Yeah. I think we have 2 more practice problems after this. So we'll get more practice. And then I think it's also in your homework too. So
I'm done.
done? Okay. Does anyone have any questions? No questions? Okay. Going to clear drawings. Let's go to the next one. Yeah. Okay, let's try this one. So this one is with area and width perimeter. So this one might be a little complex, but kind of need to combine what we learned like all of today to try and solve this one. So you're gonna use the area to find the length, and then I want you to tell me what the length is and the perimeter. And don't forget units. please tell me what answer you're submitting. Because I asked for perimeter and length, so just make sure you specify which one is length and which one is perimeter. Okay, are you guys okay if I go over the answer?
No.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I think some of you guys are confusing the formulas. So what's the formula for area of a rectangle? Who remembers?
Length times width.
Yeah, it's length times width. And we're given here that the area of the rectangular fence is 500. So we're going to do 500 equals length times width. Well, we are given what the width of the fence is. It's 20. So our thing will look like 500 equals 20L. And so we're going to divide by 20. We should get our length equals 25. What's wrong with this answer? If I were just to tell you it's 25.
It doesn't have the units.
A unit.
Yeah, so what should my units be here?
Feet.
Yeah, so it'd be 25. Okay, now what's the formula for perimeter?
For the rectangle
Sum
to
of
be
all sides.
length plus width plus width.
2L plus 2W.
Yeah, so you can write it as like length plus width, or 2L plus 2W, or like whatever you feel like writing it as.
How do you say so? In school, and that's the other name for perimeter is the sum of all sides.
Yeah, so this actually represents the sum of all sides because you're doing L plus width, and this is just 2L plus 2 width. So yeah, it's just the sum of all sides. Okay, so we're gonna get 2 times 25 plus 2 times 20. This gives us 50 plus 40, which is 90. What are my units?
Feet.
Yeah, just feet. There you go. So that's how you do this problem. Does anyone have any questions? I think all of you had the right idea on how to do it. I think you just like mixed up the formulas. Because I think some people were doing like 500 equals 2L plus 2W, which is not correct. So just make sure you're using the right formulas. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Area of a trapezoid. I don't know if everyone was able to copy this down. Oh, hold on, let me go back. Okay. So basically, you're given that the area of the, I'm just gonna re-explain this for anyone that has questions. So, area of a rectangular fence is basically describing whatever is inside. So this will be your area, this like pink part. So the formula for area, which we went over at like the beginning of class, I don't know how many of you are here, so yeah. So the area of a rectangle is going to be its length times its width. So that's just the formula. So if we're given the area, then we should just use this formula. So we get 500 equals length times width. Does that make sense?
Yes, please.
Oh, I'll go over the area and perimeter for a trapezoid in just a second. Okay, so then we're just gonna plug in our value for width. We get 500 equals 20 times length, and we get length equals 25. And that's just by dividing 500 by 20 to get 25. Oh, don't forget your units. I forgot the units. 25 meters. There we go. Okay. And so now to get perimeter, we're just gonna make it the sum of all the sides. So we get 2W plus 2L. And so now we know the value of W and L, we can just plug it in. And we get 2 times 20 plus 2 times 25, which gives us, if you multiply it out, 40 plus 50, or 90. Oh, this should be feet, my bad. Feet. Does that make more sense? I think I went through that quickly.
Yes,
If you have
please.
more questions, please ask. Okay, I'm gonna quickly go over the trapezoid one because I want to review you guys' homework. So the area of a trapezoid is going to be 1/2 base 1, which is this top part, plus base 2, which is this bottom part, times the height. And then the perimeter, you're just gonna sum up all the sides, but you don't need to do perimeter for this problem. So what's the area of the trapezoid using this formula? I'm gonna give you guys like a couple of seconds to do it because I really want to go through your homework because I think it's a little challenging. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go over the solution. I know that was not enough time, but I really want to go through your homework. So you write down the formula, which is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. And so then you substitute your values in. So you get 18 times 41 plus 21, which is basically like 1/2 18 times 62. And you multiply it out and you get 558. Yeah, Zelda?
Please, what is perpendicular?
Oh, perpendicular? That means it makes a 90-degree angle right here.
Green is 5.
Okay. Okay. Was everyone able to get this
Could
down?
you go over the homework now?
The what?
The homework now,
Oh,
since
yeah.
it's almost 5.
Okay. I'm going to go over the homework now. Not working. Wait, hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. Okay, the homework, it may look a little challenging, and I understand that, but really all you have to do is just use the formulas. So we'll start off with this first problem over here.
Yeah.
Just kind of show you how to do it so you guys can do the rest of the problems. So basically you need to find the answer of the shaded region. So the shaded region is basically this region in gray. Oops. So we have this region in gray. So what you have to do is first find the area of the bigger shape. So in this case, the area of the bigger shape is the triangle. Who remembers the area of a triangle?
A plus B plus C.
That's the perimeter. What's the area?
B times A divided by 2.
Yeah, so we have B times H divided by 2. In this case, our base is given as 20, and our height is also given as 20. So the area of our triangle is going to be, the area of our triangle is going to be 20 times 20 divided by 2, or 200. Okay, so now what we have to do is now you see this rectangle here. We want to take that rectangle out of the triangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of this rectangle now. So what's the area of the rectangle?
Length times width.
Yeah, so we have length times width. So the area of our rectangle will be 15 times 5, which is equal to 75, right? So to find the area of the shaded region, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract the area of the big triangle from the area of the, or sorry, subtract the area of the rectangle from the big triangle. So we're going to get 200 minus 75. And this gives me 125. So my answer would be 125 inches squared. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
So you basically do that for the remainder of the homework. Here you can actually do the same thing because you're given two rectangles. So what you can do is you can just extend this and then you can just find the missing side lengths and then subtract the bigger rectangle from the smaller, I think it's a square. So that's kind of what you can do. It might be a little hard, so just like be worried, like this one might be a little challenging. But just try your best and show as much work as possible. I know it might be hard to like write on this document, because these are like pictures. So you can like feel free to like write your answers below. Yeah. So just try your best and then we will. If you have any questions on homework, we can go over those in class as well. So if you have any questions, you can either message me on the Google Classroom or you can like just ask your question before class. That works as well. Is everyone good with that?
Yes, please.